a weird individual in Hollywood because I remember so many times where I felt like each interview she goes on, she always comes off as weird and not being taken seriously. But 2 years ago, when the whole Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on stage because he told a joke, and Tiffany was acting like she got offended by one joke. If anybody says something about her alopecia, you know, like you know how these sensitive people are nowadays. But then she goes on and say something on Twitter, said that I need a man like that, like Will Smith, to fight for me. I'm like, girl, do you not understand? A man just assaulted a man on stage that can cause him to stop going to these Oscars for about 10 years. So basically, his career just ended just like that, and you want to come out and be funny about it. Yeah, you're pretty weird about that. So shout outs to the Shade Room, and shout outs to Monique. She's always been one of my favorite actresses out there, and she's always been real. So let's get to it.
Our beautiful sister Tiffany Haddish did an interview with GQ magazine, and this, in my humble opinion, is where we keep throwing each other under the bus. You're doing an interview with GQ magazine, and I'm assuming the journalist was a white person, and the conversation turned to Monique. And she said, well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers.
But she don't know your husband.
And when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child. And I say all of that with no judgment. But when you speak about having a husband like mine, you open up the door. And I'm saying to you, if you had one like mine, you may not sit in these positions that you can't explain.
I can't even begin of what I just heard. She basically just like exposed Tiffany right here. When Tiffany was saying something about Monique's husband. And I love what I love what Monique said. Of how if you would have had a husband, you wouldn't be getting DUIs and getting into troubles and all of that. Learning how to keep your mouth shut and stop throwing people under the bus. If you don't want things done to you, don't undo to others. But it's best for you to just keep your opinions to yourself. And the fact that Monique had to just maturely tell her that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But it just seems like the moment when Monique said that, I knew that Tiffany was always been this weird person. Like, she'll go into these interviews and she'll say all of this rubbish, knowing full well that there's going to be somebody that doesn't like her, that knows her very well, that will call her out on her nonsense. Come on now.
So once again...
Well, she doesn't even have a husband, let alone like yours.
Well, damn it now. You said it. I sipped on that, Shannon. That was a sip. That required a sip.
Now, that was more like a warm-up.
I love us. I love us. Like, when I say I love my people, Shannon. I love us. I love everybody.
Right.
But my people, I love us. So when I speak on things, it's not to drop shade, mess, or tea. I'm too damn grown for that. I'm 56 and a grandmother. Who got time for that? But I say it because will it make us better?
Right.
Will it make us come to the table and say, you know what do we really leave for the babies that's coming behind us? That means something to me. When I talked about them damn bonnets, let me tell you something.
Bonnets.
They say you said, hey, come on, can we, like, when we come out the house, can we not have the bonnets on?
Like,
can we not have the pajamas on? Can we not?
When she says something about bonnets, does she mean like she's talking about the kids, like the future generations? I don't know, but I like what she said here though. Like, we got to be better for the kids though. If we want them to grow up in a better environment. Not like how Monique and Tiffany came up in the industry. Like, we gotta like do better for them so they can become better themselves.
Costume. That's a Halloween costume that you wear on Halloween. And I am passionate about that because what is the representation that we're giving to the little girls that's walking behind you? What is the representation that we're giving to our black men that's walking beside us? What is the reputation that we're giving? And when they would say to me, oh, Monique, you don't know what they're going through. We always been going through something.
Yes.
We was going through something when we got off the damn boat. We've been going through something.
True.
But once you lose the pride and the dignity of what you feel like you look like, then we've lost.
Hey man, one thing you gotta give credit to Monique for is when she said that when we were going through the vote, we've lost. And we basically lose our pride of who we are as individuals. And I love the fact that when she said that us black people, you know, what we represent, what do we represent in wearing Halloween costumes? Because we know that Halloween is celebrating the devil, you know. So that's why you'll never see me talk about Halloween stuff or wearing Halloween costumes unless I talk about like my favorite horror films and stuff. But you don't see me celebrating Halloween no more because I grew out of that. But I definitely understood what she actually said because it kind of makes sense.
No, y'all. We owe ourselves that. We owe ourselves that.
How hard is it for you to love some in the community when you know they don't love you back?
That's a good one, Shannon.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. That's a good one because sometimes I'll be in the bathroom having conversations with the ones that don't love me back, but I still love them because I just know they're misinformed. We've been conditioned in such a way in our community to eat each other up and spit each other out. Mm-hmm. We've been conditioned.
Well, I don't like her.
I love my people.
But why?
Why do I love my people?
No, I'm saying a lot of times, for me, Mo, is that I don't take someone's word because you can only judge a person through personal experience.
Yes.
You don't know our audio guy. But to say, oh, well, I don't like him. And then for you to say, well, I don't like him either because Shannon didn't like him. You have no personal experience with him. So why would you dislike him? People want us to dislike somebody because they've had a negative experience with that said person.
And we buy into it. We buy into it. Because this one don't like her. And then you say, why don't you like him? This is one thing my husband said to me one time. He said, Mama, there's not a person on the face of this earth that I dislike. I may dislike what they do, but I don't dislike the person. And it took me a minute to understand it because I'm like, I don't like their ass. I don't like what they did. I don't like their ass. I don't like their mama. I don't like none of them. But he said, no, there are things you've done that I dislike, but I don't dislike you.
Right.
And once we can get past that, then we even grow.
Well, I say every time I look at these videos, the more I watch these contents, the more I love it when certain celebrities like this always speak nothing but facts. And I 100% agree on what she said. And I be saying this all the time. So I have people in my life that I don't like, but guess what? I still love them. All it takes is accountability. Because in our hearts, we normally don't take full responsibilities on what we do and what we say and how we come off. And for me, I've always had issues with that growing up, and I'm still dealing with that today. But guess what? I learned how to self-control my emotions and my words of how I present them. And looking back at my old videos, I realized that maybe I could have said things a bit better, but I meant no harm. I meant no drama. I'm just a guy that is always speaking facts and speaking the truth, and whether people like it or not. And I love how her husband was like, I despise everything you do in terms of your bad behavior. I'm going to call you out on it. But that doesn't mean that I don't like you. I still love you. I just don't like your bad behavior. And you know what? He's right. You know, all it takes is just self improvement. And I think what Tiffany has to do is just work on her self esteem and work on herself and her attitude. Stop getting into DUIs. Stop being pulled over. Stop saying outrageous things in the interviews just to get shock values. You know? And for me, I look at it this way too. A lot of times when we have conversations with certain people, we tend to say things out of pocket. But we know what we're talking about, but it's how it comes off. You get what I'm saying?
You're seeing right.
I think that's something that you need to teach the new generation of modern women, because there are feminists everywhere that will say, oh, I can do whatever I want. My body's my choice. Fine. Do whatever. But understand this. When somebody is calling you out and is trying to correct you on certain things, do not turn a blind eye and become more delusion in the brain and delusion from the mouth. And I like how she says, when her husband sat her down and have a real conversation about how to be a better version of yourself as an individual. It is not that hard to become a good person in life. The last thing you want to do is leave this planet as bitter, old, angry because the world was against you. No, don't do that. What you can do, and just pray to God and ask for guidance, because I think that's the most important thing that this world is lacking, is the love for God, because they don't know God. So for me, all I can do is just pray for them. You know, you can't just rush, force that stuff onto them unless they're ready to give them a try. You know what I'm saying? The same way her husband was telling her, look, I love you as a queen, but you have to be one. Instead of saying how you want to be this and that, be about it. And it just seems like her husband had an impact in her life where she became a mature individual that is the most respected actress and a person in the industry. I just wish that people could be just like her at a young age. But we all know that deep down that women of today are far from worse than I've already imagined, especially when they're having kids. I've seen some unfit mothers in my life, and it's not pretty. That is a story for another time. So let's continue.
For that. And I used to say to my husband, I wish I could put you in a bottle and shake you up and let black women take a sip to know what it's like to truly be loved by a black man that is a king. When I tell you, Shannon, it's a love that is unexplainable and unimaginable. That's why I can't be broken. And I say that humbly. I can't be broken because I got a king at home. I got a king right there that when all this shit went crazy, that man took me by my hands and said, don't you know we good? And I believed him. And right now to this day, I believe him. And when you have that type of strength, it's hard.
You know, I would hope to God that one day, if I meet me somebody who was just like her at my age or in their late 20s, someone who was young, fit, and healthy with a nice body, but mentally has a mind of an older woman that is mature and respectful, smart and educated, that is into things like I am, that is not autistic like me, but someone who is like normal, because you know I'm a guy, I have a preference of what I want in a woman, so don't judge me. But the point I'm trying to make here is that her and her husband have a legacy to create. And they already done that. Because she doesn't need anything else when her and her man are good. They got everything in life. Now it's all about working together and creating a foundation for the next generation. All it takes is self-improvement, accountability, and just be happy. Because right now we live in the darkest time in our lives right now. But only thing we can do is try to make the best out of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Monique is a real one for this one.
At your lowest, he lifted you to your highest.
You better know your homework, baby. I'm proud of you. We got toast on that one. You better know your damn homework. I said that when I was at my lowest, he loved me like I was at my best. And I was mentally ill because you're in this business. Everybody thinks you are the hero. Consideration can be thrown out the window. Patience can be thrown out the window. Because when you get home, you believe that I'm the breadwinner. And what I say is what goes. And this is what it is. And this is my third marriage, though my first. Because this is the first time I've known my place as a black man's wife. And there's a place. And we get so caught up in that word. What you mean your place? What you mean? Without him saying it, his actions showed me that he was the leader of that.
And that's the thing, though. Like, we need more kings and fathers to be in their children's lives. Because without that, you're going to end up getting so many bad results throughout the years to come. And what Monique just said, dog, I feel like words are powerful. But the message is even stronger. You know what I'm saying? So, when she said that her husband put her in her place, not in a mean way, but try to keep her in the right path and have her mind in the right direction, physically and mentally, so she doesn't go down the wrong path. And I get it. The industry is not for everyone. But I would be lying if I said that if I was in the industry, I'll quit the next day. Because if I see some susceptible, questionable moments in my life while I'm in Hollywood, because there is a lot more than I want to say in this video, because I feel like in Hollywood, you're going to see some uncomfortable stuff. Things that will make you uncomfortable versus things that will make you satisfied of what you got. How you get into this role and that role, and what ways to get into the roles. I mean, I would be stupid enough if I ended up wearing a dress just to get that role in certain movies and TV shows or a web series. You will never, ever, for the light of day, see me wear a dress just because they want you to put her on. Like Kevin Hart and Tracy Morgan and everybody else that had to put on a dress. Jamie Foxx, Dave Chappelle. Any comedians that put on a dress just to go mainstream and entertain people. I'm not doing that. So, if I were to become famous, so help me God, I'm going to stay true to myself. I know where I come from. I know who I am as a man. I know who I am as a person. As a man, I know my worth and I know what I want in life. I have a preference. I know what I like and I know what I need. For somebody to put her in her place, just to let her know that she is a queen. Represent that. And when she said that her husband is the king and the leader of the household, you better believe it.
I was dealing with a king.
And he doesn't have to constantly remind you of it. He's
never. When we first got together, I sat at the head of that table. Comfortably. There was never a conversation about it. Till one day I knew I was in the wrong place. Wow. And I moved to the side of the table. And he sat at the head. We never had a conversation about it. It just happened because it was supposed to. So when people question my husband and why is he there, you would hope you would have one like.
At the end of the day, Tiffany messed up. Tiffany has no room or place to talk about anybody's husband. I don't even think she's married. She doesn't even have a husband. So it tells me everything I need to know about women like her. But you know what? Monique definitely brought out the man in me. Because if I had a queen like that, it doesn't matter what color she is, I want someone like that that can keep me grounded. Because that'll make me a better husband. Somebody that can motivate me, inspire me to just be myself and be happy. Become a man and a king in the household. To hold everybody down. To keep everybody in my life safe. Protect my family, protect my loved ones, protect my woman. She definitely inspired me. And I feel like she's one of those women that I can take seriously. With that type of advice and her words of what she said and how I broke it down with my own take on it, what can I say? Queen of the Year. Year of the Dragon. That's all I gotta say. So, shout outs to Shay Shay. Link to the original video will be down below. I'm gonna holla at y'all tomorrow.